Welcome back to episode 141 of the ATD Baseball Podcast. We are back again, back on our regularly scheduled day on a Monday. It's been kind of weird the last couple weeks, ever since we were in Cooperstown, which I think coming up this weekend will be a month already, which is crazy. Something
Yeah.
like that. Um, I've been on the go, and obviously Kyle was on vacation the last couple weeks. So now we're both back in our places, and we're back to a Monday again. But before we get into the topics that we want to discuss today, because we have some stuff. Kyle, how are you doing today? And glad to see that you and your wife made it home from your trip. Very nice, safely.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, no, it was good, man. It's always bittersweet coming back from vacations and stuff like that because, the last 3 weeks have been magnificent. We were in Cooperstown. I was off of work because I work for a school. And then I spent the last 2 weeks in Florida, so it's been great. But yeah, kind of just back to reality. And today I went back to work for the first time in almost a month, so that's kind of a pain in the ass. But yeah, no, overall I'm doing good, man. Yeah, the Yankees, man. I mean, I'll obviously touch on them later, but don't know how I feel about them right now. So, but yeah, no, I'm excited for the things we got to talk about today. Yeah, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of you saw my video that I put out Wednesday night after the Dodgers got swept by the Angels. Doom and gloom. However, as we do this, not we as we do this, sometimes it is nice just to open your phone, plug in your mic, and just kind of talk about what you're feeling about your
Hmm.
team. And I did that for like 20 minutes. And if it wasn't at like 11:30 at night, who knows? I might have gone for another 15 minutes. But um, it was very doom and gloom. I was very down on my team. And then the Dodgers sweep the San Diego Padres over the weekend, and they look very impressive while doing it. So that makes me happy. But um, yeah, other than that, doing extremely well. We're like I said, we're getting to the point now of the season where it's nut crunching time, and we're getting to that point where it's like, especially now, 40 games to go. My baseball team is determined is going to be the reason why I'm in a good or bad mood in these final 6, 7 weeks, and hopefully for the further than that. But um, it was nice to see the Dodgers get a sweep. Really needed that, and I also got some cool stuff here. I got a shout out to my friend Daniel, Kobe Bryant bobblehead. He was able to hold it for me while I was in Minnesota last weekend, so that was very nice. And they're having these cool cups at the stadium now. Shohei Otani 50-50. Oh, fantastic. Look at that. So you got the signature there, everything. You got him sliding into the base. You got his pose right here, and you got him hitting a home run. Fantastic. There is another cup that I have that I will not show Kyle out of respect for his team, but I think he knows. I think he knows what exactly I'm talking about. So I have that right here. I will not show it to him because I know he's sick and tired of that. So, but um, good weekend. And you mentioned it a second ago that you it was hard for you to go to work today. Well,
Hmm.
for me, I wish I was at work right now because the Dodgers just swept the Padres. I only worked 3 games this weekend. It was a
Hmm.
short homestand, and the Dodgers are in Colorado and San Diego this week. And then I go back a week from today, and I'm like, what the hell? Like I was just like getting into the groove of things again, and now I got to sit for another week just doing other stuff. Oh well. But to answer your question, I'm doing well. Um, Topics for today, not much, but I think the majority of this first topic will be the bulk of the episode. Rob Manfred in the headlines again about realignment and expansion and stuff like that, which I don't know why we would be discussing that in front of 10-year-olds, but all right, I guess that was the plan yesterday at the little league games. These kids just want to see Juan Soto and Cal Raleigh that we have the commissioner of baseball. Hey, why don't you guys hear what I have to say about realignment and stuff? The big topics, but and a lockout too, of course. Um,
Yeah.
and then we'll touch. We'll give our weekly. Yeah, we'll give our weekly updates on our teams, Dodgers, Yankees, and then we'll touch at the end NL East. The Mets. You have Pete Alonso breaking the home run record for the Mets, singles, the not singles, the all-time home run record with the Mets. And then you have this kind of scary Zach Wheeler injury now that happened to him over the weekend, and it seems like he's going to be missing some time. And um, who knows? We'll see what happens with these Phillies here, but um, we'll go right into this. So obviously, yesterday was the Little Leaguers Classic game in Williamsport. Um, I was able to see most of it because the game was supposed to start at like 4:10 my time. I got home like at 5:30, and it was still like early in the game. So I'm like, oh, cool, I can get to see most of it. Um, and then I think ESPN had Commissioner Manfred on, um, to discuss, Williamsport and all everything. And then the topic came up on expansion and potential realignment of the divisions. Um, so he said that he would like to see it, and it's probably going to happen in the future, sooner rather than later, especially with baseball looking to expand Vegas, obviously, with the A's. So, I mean, even though they're not an expansion team, the A's are moving to Vegas. But then, there's talks of maybe um, a team in Nashville. Maybe somewhere else. Who knows? Maybe the. I mean, I would like to see the Expos back, but who knows? But do you like the realignment of the divisions, or do you like the way it is now with the Central, West, and East? Because like the way that these mock-ups have it, it switches to like 8 different divisions, and it's like the Southeast, the North, the East, the Mid Atlantic, and then the West, Pacific Coast, Southwest, Midwest, all these other different kinds of West. Um, I got to hear what you got to think about this because I think there's some people that are on board with it, and I have seen some people that are on board with it, but
Yeah.
then I have seen other people that are like, no, keep it the way it is.
Yeah, so I mean, I go back and forth. I do. I want to I okay, so obviously the popular opinion is to not screw with anything. At least that's what I've been seeing and what I've been looking at. But I'm going to make an argument for Rob Manfred here in his case.
Whoa.
It's not bad, okay? I'm not completely like shut the door on this, don't let it happen. Um, Here's the thing. Baseball just recently went to the thing where you play every team, okay?
So
The
glad
division
you mentioned it. I was gonna mention it if you didn't mention it.
Yeah, you play every team every year, okay? I'm not saying divisions don't mean anything anymore, but what I am saying is they don't mean as much as they used to. So that's where it's one of those things where it could be fun, it could be exciting for these for baseball, for the sport. Now, I'm saying that because a few years ago, and obviously throughout the years that this is becoming a topic, I've been seeing some of these mock-ups, okay, and seeing what these divisions might look like. And a few years ago, I had said to you that there was a division mock-up that involved the Yankees, the Mets, the Phillies, and the Boston Red Sox in one division. Tell me right now that that is not must-see TV when those teams are playing each other. You got four of the biggest markets in baseball, and you mean to tell me that they're going to be in the division fighting for a chance in October? That's exciting to me. I'm sorry, but those games where you play the Mets are going to mean a whole lot more. Not only are you from the same city, but now you're in the same division. That's like must see TV, and it's also like one of those things where you know nowadays we're seeing all these rivalries, right? And that word really doesn't hold as much weight as it used to, but it could, and that's something that I feel would be exciting. You know, forming new rivalries, forming new competitive edges against these teams that are really good, but it really doesn't mean much. Like in the grand scheme of things, when the Yankees and Mets play each other, it doesn't mean much. One's in the American League, one's in the National League. The only time you're going to see each other when it truly matters is at the World Series. And that's slim to none chance of that happening, especially this season. But it's one of those things where it's like I'm not totally against it. And it's kind of like I want to hear him out. I want to see what it's actually going to look like on paper. Um, but am I shutting the door on it? No, absolutely not. Because I think it is a way to grow the game and kind of just get fans back into something new. We've seen these divisions ever since I think since Miami and Colorado came in the league, and when Houston switched from the National League to the American League, we've had the same divisions. Um, so like I said, I'm not against it. I'm not. But then part of me also goes back to saying like, okay, there's been so many changes to Major League Baseball over the last couple of years. Why change that? Like that's something that people go off of. Like some of these games between the Yankees and Blue Jays, and I'm only speaking for myself because I'm a Yankee fan, but I'm sure like that Padres Dodgers series was electric. Like some of these games they just mean a little bit more because they're your division rival. And I'm sorry, like part of me doesn't want to go away from getting excited when I see the Blue Jays on the schedule because I know these games mean something. And whether or not my emotions go one way or the other, it's still the fact that it's good baseball being played and the players buy into that. I don't know how much the players would be buying into these division realignments. Um, and things like that. And also too, I'd like to see what the playoff picture looks like. Are we expanding? Are we keeping it the same? How like because if these divisions are different, I feel like it's got to switch a little bit. So for the division realignment part of this conversation, I'm not against it. I'm not slamming the door on the idea because I think if it's done right, it could be good for Major League Baseball. But that's something that Rob Manfred's really going to have him and his team look at and do it right. Because if you don't, you are going to fall flat on your face and it's going to piss off a lot of people. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, and a lot of people are pissed off at you already, and this
Hmm.
would be like the final nail in the coffin of, yep, this is Manfred's legacy right here. He botched the expansion, he botched the realignment.
Hmm.
Um, so I have it right here. One of the reasons why Commissioner Manfred said that he wanted to change, potentially realign everything, was to ease the travel.
Okay.
Hold on a second. If you wanted to ease the travel, then why did we start playing? Why did all these teams start playing everybody a couple years ago? Because I guarantee you, now I don't have the full information in front of me, but I guarantee you the travel was a lot easier in 2022 when the Dodgers were playing the Giants 20 times a year, or when you were playing your division rivals. That was like 80 to 100 games out of your schedule,
Hmm.
out of the 162. Um, so that's doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It's like if you wanted to keep the travel easier, then why did you decide to have all these teams play against each other every season? But
Hmm.
um, I'm for it. I'm with you that I'm willing to hear Manfred out and see what else they have in store because I mean, if there's going to be two more teams in this league, obviously you can't just it's going to be uneven. It's going to be an uneven amount of teams in the way you have the divisions aligned right now. Um, I'm looking at Jim Bowden's uh, proposed realignment, and the thing that really sticks out to me, um, the West in the National League, the Dodgers may never lose the West Division title again because they would be in the division with the Padres, the Angels, and the Diamondbacks. Holy shit, Dodgers might win the West for the next 50 years of my life if that's going to be the proposed realignment. Um, and then I look at the Pacific Coast. Rockies, Athletics, Mariners, and Giants. Holy shit, 75 wins might be enough to get yourself in a playoff spot. But um, I think that would be the thing that also a lot of people would complain about. It's like, hey, you have, like you just mentioned, you have and that's exactly Jim Bowden's East division. It's Red Sox, Mets, Yankees, and Phillies. There's gonna be a lot of people that like in those markets that aren't gonna be happy that Red Sox, Yankees, Phillies, and Mets are killing each other all season for a
Yep.
spot, and then you have Rockies, Athletics, Mariners, and Giants that are all below 500, and the first team to 70, 80 wins is enough to get in the playoffs. So that's another thing that I would be concerned about, just the balance of power in these some of these divisions. But um, this really got everybody's attention. Now it has been a while since we've um, really talked about realignment and expansion, but a lot of people, this really got everybody's attention yesterday.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's like this is the part that I don't understand because you're going to get a very unbalanced um this is the part where I don't like, and you kind of hit it right on the head with these divisions. They are not balanced at all. You have it would be the Eastern Conference East
Right.
division, where you have the Red Sox, Mets, Yankees, and Phillies, who are all extremely well teams year in and year out. And these teams are going to need 100 wins to win this division, and it is going to be a bloodbath year in and year out because these fans of these teams, this is what I'm scared about. Okay. You're going to have, let's just say, the Yankees and Red Sox, because the Phillies and Mets have been a little bit better this season. You have the Yankees and Red Sox battling it out for a third place finish in this division. Okay. One of, if not both of those fan bases are going to be out of the postseason this year. Okay. And when it comes down to it, if the Mets are lucky enough to squeak in with whatever the wild card situation looks like, that that's going to be ridiculous, because why the hell should a team who wins 99 plus games, if that's what the Mets end up with, and have to fight it out in a wild card spot against a team, let's just say from the Southeast Division, that has the Braves, Marlins, the Nashville expansion team, and the Tampa Bay Rays. That division is ass. That is terrible. And you mean to tell me that you're gonna have, like, it's not balanced, and that's my problem. You cannot, as much as I would love to see these fan bases react to a Yankees, Red Sox, Mets, and Phillies division, you can't do that, in my opinion. That is just, it's not good for the sport, because guess what? Those four fan bases are some of the most loyal in all of sports. I'm not just talking about baseball. I'm talking about all of sports. And year in and year out, if the Mets and Yankees or the Phillies or whatever it looks like are missing the postseason, your revenue is going to go down. And like, we've seen what it's like in Citizens Bank Park with the Phillies when they make the postseason. We've seen what Yankee Stadium looks like, Fenway and City. It's I want to hear it. I want to see what they're open to. But when I look at this division itself and then I look at the other ones, it's a joke. Like you said, the the Pacific Coast Division. You have the Rockies, Athletics, Mariners, and Giants. Holy, like that's disgusting, and not in a good way. It's I just, and even I'm just looking at some of these. Even when you look at the Mid Atlantic, you have the Washington Nationals, Pittsburgh Pirates, the Charlotte expansion, and then you have the Baltimore Orioles. What is that? There is no balance in these divisions, and I don't like that. I just don't like it at all. It's that top that East division is loaded, and I feel like that's something that could bite him in the ass, and that's what I don't like about it.
It seems like, and the only way, and again, I don't like this because the thing that makes baseball unique is that you do get rewarded for winning your division most of
Hmm.
the time. Most of the
Yeah.
time. Um, if you're gonna do like 8 different divisions here, you're just gonna have to do the top 8 best records in each conference. Say,
Hmm.
hey, there's your postseason teams right there, and if you didn't make it, sorry, can't help you. You
Yeah.
know that's almost what this has to turn into, because you
Hmm.
can't. Obviously, you can't. The way they want to potentially realign with like 4 teams in every division, you can't continue to do the format the way you do in the playoffs. So you're
Hmm.
just gonna have to go with the 1 through 8, and you know, um, yeah, that would it would create new rivalries. It would, but it
Hmm.
also would take away from the things that already have going for you,
Yeah.
and that's what I think is the most disappointing thing about this. But um, Manfred said that he can potentially see it in the near future. Hopefully, it's after his term, and then we can forget about it. Or
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, we just assume that the next guy coming in after Rob Manfred is going to have the complete opposite vision of him. For all we know,
Mhm.
he could just be as bad or be worse. But
Yeah.
um,
No, and here's another thing too that I don't like. I don't want Major League Baseball going away from the values of the sport. The American League and National League have been a thing for years. It's been since the dawn of time, since baseball. And the biggest thing, like, I'm not if you truly do want to have a an expansion and a realignment in divisions, my thing is why not keep the American League and National League and then you do northeast southwest in a division that kind of and I saw somebody on Twitter I forget where it was but they had like the AL East for example they had the Yankees the Red Sox Baltimore and Toronto so they moved Tampa Bay to the South Division where it's like and I think the South was probably Houston, Tampa Bay, maybe I I don't know. It's something like that. So I'm not necessarily against something like that where you just add another division. So you have four divisions in the American League and National League. If you wanted to do something like that, it's just I think there needs to be a competitive balance. And competitive balance can kind of go into a next topic that we don't have to be on for long, but it's just something I want to make note of. Competitive balance is something that we've been seeing in baseball when it comes to the lockout and how much these players are making and how much these teams are spending. Okay. So if you mean to tell me that with the realignment, you're trying to help the competitive balance part of the sport, why the hell would you put four teams who are at the highest of the payroll in one division? Because then it's like you said, it's a bloodbath to get to the end. So you're having Boston, who yes, they haven't spent, but they're a team that has won a World Series in recent history, so they know how to run a ball club. The Mets, who have Steve Cohen, who is going to pay whatever it takes to get their team to where they go. You have the Yankees. The Yankees are always going to spend money. That's just how it is. And then you have the Phillies. They have Dave Dombrowski as a GM. He is going to spend year in and year out. It to me, it's just if you're trying to help the competitive balance part of the sport, then why the hell would you do a division like that? In my opinion, that's just the way that I view it. And like I said, I think Jim Bowden's side of things, like his proposed realignments, I'm not in agreement with. I don't like that. And I don't want to see Major League Baseball try to take NBA's way of doing their postseason. It works for them, but it doesn't have to work for Major League Baseball because what they have now already works. And you're already pissing off a lot of people with the way the sport's going. I feel like this would do more harm than good. But again, I'm not closing the door. I want to hear out Manfred and see what he has to say, but it needs to be done perfectly. And I don't know if Rob Manfred can do that.
and why are we talking about expansion right now?
Yeah,
There's two teams that are currently playing in a minor league ballpark right now,
yeah.
and there's a potential lockout brewing at the end of next season. Why are we talking expansion right now?
Hmm.
Can we fix the problems that we have in house first before we start? Maybe thinking about. It's like I'm trying to think of a good terminology for this because usually I have many great ones as Kyle has heard over the years getting to know me here. Um, it's like I don't know. I'm not even gonna try with that one, but you get the point. It's like why are
Absolutely.
we like? Can we fix the stuff in house first? You know,
Hmm.
before we start, trying to expand and stuff again. But I don't
It's
know.
almost like
I
you
don't
know,
know.
it's almost like one of those things where like if you own a home, okay, you own a home and your roof goes, okay, it's got a big ass leak. You got to pay 15 grand to get it fixed. Well, you're looking to buy a new car, something along those lines.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
fix the problem at hand and then worry about buying a new car after that, because this sport is already in a little bit of turmoil and it can turn into a whole shit ton within the next year. We were already talking up in Cooperstown about what happens if there is a lockout. And listen, like for people like us who do this partially as a living, it's one of those things where we want them on board with us. And it's like
Right.
sometimes it just feels like it's just, oh well, fuck it, we'll deal with it when it comes. Well, guess what? Next season is coming. And we're going to the way that it's going, we're going to be in a lockout because of this competitive balance bullshit with teams spending money and teams not wanting to spend money, and there's two sides of an extreme, so we got to come to the middle. But for some reason this has been going on for a few years now, and why are we talking about putting a team in Charlotte or Nashville or Raleigh or up in
Mars.
Montreal, whatever the hell it is? It's yeah, but no, you said it perfectly. The Athletics are currently moving to they're playing in Sacramento, currently moving to Las Vegas. They're not done yet. So wait until they're in Vegas. Then you have the Tampa Bay Rays, whose stadium got destroyed by a hurricane, and luckily everything was cool. But it's the thing, they're playing at the Yankees spring training facility right now. And why not try to fix those teams before trying to create an entire franchise in another city? No, it yeah, like I said, it makes perfect sense of what you said. It's just I just wish that if this does come into play, it's done perfectly because it can come back and bite them in the ass quicker than what they have thought. And the ratings are already going to drop more than what they already have. Because baseball, if you haven't realized, is not the top sport in America. It's arguably the fourth most popular sport in America. And with shit like this, if it's done the wrong way, it's going to continue to drop. And it sucks because we're trying to grow the game here. But with these alignments, if it's not done perfectly, I worry that we're gonna have a problem.
It's like the married couple that are having problems, and they're like, "Oh, I know what'll fix this. Let's bring a kid into this world." Hang on a second. Wait a minute. So now the kid has to suffer, you know?
Yeah,
But see, I thought of something.
there
I
you
used
go.
my noggin there. I knew I can figure something out. Um, moving on. We'll do our teams last. I want to say that for last because
Yeah,
it's gonna be a San Diego shit on segment for 10 minutes. So I'll
no, it
save that
makes
for the
sense.
end here. Um, NL East. Um, you got the Phillies that are pretty much starting to slowly run away with this division. The Mets have been playing terrible for a couple weeks now. I they took the series against the Mariners over the weekend, so that was good for them. But kind of two teams that are going kind of the opposite direction here, and it sucks though for the Phillies. They did lose Zach Wheeler to I believe like a blood clot in his shoulder, I think, or something
Yeah.
like that. And that's scary. Anytime we hear blood clot, it's holy shit. Like this is not. It's actually kind of something serious here. Then you have the Mets that they've just been playing bad for like 2 weeks, like almost a month here, and they're only 8 games over 500.
Hmm.
And what it once looked like that, you know, I mean, it was a long season, but the Mets like they could win this division. But now you're in danger of not only not winning this division, you're in danger of missing the postseason as a whole.
Yeah.
Because while the Mets have been scuffling a little bit, here comes this now. Well, as the Mets have been scuffling a little bit, here comes this playing a lot better and actually almost playing up to their potential. Cincinnati Reds, and they're only a game and a half out of the Mets for the last wild card spot in the National League. Um, this division is so interesting to me because you have this Phillies team that you don't know how many more chances you're gonna get at this, and it seems like we've been hearing and hinting at it the last couple of years that maybe this is finally the year where hey, if they can't get it done this year, then this window is gonna start closing because you're gonna have to start trading pieces away, and these guys get older. These guys are not getting any younger, but um, do you think the Mets have any chance to get back into this, or the Phillies just gonna run away with this?
Oh man, it's tough. 5 games out. Yeah. here's the thing. So the Phillies are playing. That lineup is clicking. Okay, Kyle Schwarber is he's looking like one of the best players in baseball. Um, and you did hit it. Like this Phillies team, Kyle Schwarber's a free agent at the end of the season. There's no guarantee that he comes back to Philly. Bryce Harper's not getting any younger, and we already know that Zach Wheeler's retiring after the 2027 season. And he just went down with a blood clot, and I hope everything's okay. That's a very scary injury, and I hope that he's back on the field and healthy in no time. But for the time being, we now know that Zach Wheeler's out. So your ace is out. Okay. The thing with the Phillies, they just need to keep playing. And at the end of the season, I do think the Phillies are going to win the division, but that is if they keep up what they're doing. Because again, this Mets team, as shitty as they've been playing, I don't count them out. This Mets team is good. That lineup is good. Their pitching has overperformed a lot more than what I thought, and the bullpen looks good. Um, this this division is tricky though. It's one of those things where it's um, if the Mets hit that hot streak and the Phillies go on a little bit of cold streak, I can see it switching. But if I had to put money on it right now, I think Philly's going to win the division because I don't see them slowing down. But there isn't a world where they don't. So um, it is just one of those things. And before we, you know, completely get off the topic, I so I was watching that Mets game the other day with Pete Alonso, and he broke the all time record for the Mets. Um, this is crazy to me because Pete Alonso came up in 2019. Um, this is like it was wild to me. Like whenever you look at these all-time franchise records, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, you think like those goals are never reachable, and especially for a guy who's just come into the league 6 years ago. It is crazy. But congrats to him. I thought it was pretty cool. But no, crazy because I feel like I just witnessed his rookie season, and just crazy. It's That's what it comes down to. But congrats to Pete Alonso. But yeah, circling back to answer your question, as long as the Phillies keep playing the way they are, I think they'll end up with the division.
Yeah, and remember too with Pete Alonso, he did not re-sign with the Mets early at all this past offseason. It was, I think he didn't sign back with the Mets until late February, early March. So there
Hmm.
was a point there where it was like, because if because all that drama going on with the contract and stuff, and there was a point like, damn, like Pete. Not only is Pete Alonso not coming back to this Mets team, but he's not even going to have an opportunity to break the all-time Mets home run record, and he did, and he's having a good season, and good for him. And I'm looking at the postseason bracket right now. If the season ended today, the Phillies and Mets are your best of three wild card series, with the winner coming out to LA to play the Dodgers. Um, you see, if I'm scared of both teams
Hmm.
because, especially in a 5-game series like that, because I was looking at the bracket this morning and I asked myself, would you rather play the Phillies or would you rather play the Mets? I hesitated and I told myself I'd rather play the Mets just because their pitching is overachieved so much this season, you know. And but then again, it's like, well, shit. In a short series, Lindor and Soto can beat you,
Yeah,
and you're done. You're out. So, um, yeah. So Phillies Mets would be your 3-6 wildcard matchup, and that would be fun. That would
yeah,
be fun. We saw how fun it was last year. Even I know the Mets 1-4, you know, but those games were a lot closer than I think a lot of people remember. Now, the
hmm,
Phillies had their chances to win those games and push the Mets to a game 5, and who knows. But geez, I'm looking at this postseason bracket right now. We're gonna get some good matchups this year. We really
hmm,
are. We really are. Astros Yankees is your 3-6 right now, wild card series. Red Sox um, Mariners is your 4-5 wild card. Padres Cubs is your 4-5. I go Cubs go. I will be a big ass Cubs fan if that happens. And then obviously, like I just mentioned, Mets Phillies. So um, yeah, There's your NL East. And to answer your question, I do think to answer my own question, I do think the Phillies are going to win this division. But
Yeah,
you know, they should. I mean, they're a good team. I mean, shit. I mean, they've been at this for a couple of years now. So,
yeah,
all
absolutely.
right. Um, Going to our teams. Um, I guess I'll start with my team right here. Um, Super impressive. Very. That's what I want to see. Yeah, I was very disappointed, and obviously all Dodger fans were after getting swept by the Angels last week. And I'm so glad I didn't go to any of those games, by the way, because I was very close to going to one of them. The Otani start on Wednesday. So glad I didn't go to that. But um, this is what I wanted to see. That's the Dodger team that I know that I saw over the weekend. Took 3 games, swept the San Diego Padres, and it could have easily gone the other way. The Dodgers easily could have played poorly, not played up to their competition, and this division would be the Padres would be up like 3 games or 4 games instead of the Dodgers being up 2 or something like that. Very impressive, and it was so nice, to kind of humble them a little bit because I know, you know, they went all in at the trade deadline again. They got Mason Miller, and all their pieces they pretty much have hit on at the trade deadline. Ramon Laureano, I put out the graphic yesterday. He's been one of the best deadline pickups this season. He's having an uh, over almost a 1,000 OPS, and he's slugging. And this Padre team has been feeling pretty good about themselves. Now, to their credit, they have been beating the teams they have been. They've been beating, the Diamondbacks. They swept the Giants last weekend. This earlier in the week while the Dodgers are getting swept by the Angels. Then they come into Dodger Stadium and they don't perform well. And I told you this, I think last week. The Dodgers, if they're gonna repeat as champions, they're gonna have to do it on their starting pitching. And that's exactly the main reason why the Dodgers sweep this Padre team over the weekend. They got good starting pitching. Clayton Kershaw, Unk still got it. 37-year-old, still going out there, giving us 6 innings of run ball, giving up only 1 walk. Fantastic. And he's undefeated in the month of August with three. He has a 3-0 record. Blake Snell giving you 6 innings. Tyler Glasnow giving you 5 innings. Even he was at like a 90 something pitch count. I think in the postseason, I think he gets pushed to go out there in the 6th inning and at least get 1 or 2 more outs. But I'm telling you, starting pitching is going to be the reason why the Dodgers go deep into October this year. And their bullpen was able to figure it out and close these games. Vesia had to do an up down yesterday. He was able to shut it down. Alexis Diaz, how about it, my friend? He looked good out there Friday night. He threw 2 beautiful sliders that I haven't seen that before, or I haven't seen it from him in a while. So very nicely done. Um, and now the Dodgers are back in front, 2-game lead, and everybody's very calm, and everything's right in the world again. Everything's right in the world, because it was doom and gloom there Wednesday night, all day Thursday. It was like, oh shit. Now the Dodgers are trailing, and now the Padres are coming into Dodger Stadium. So the Dodgers have taken 5 straight series from the Padres dating back to last season, and they have now clinched the season series for this year. So technically, the 2-game lead is a 3-game lead. Because if the Dodgers and Padres finish with the same record at the end of the season, Dodgers win the division because they have the season series this year. So don't ever let a Padres fan come up and tell you that they own the Dodgers because they don't. They don't. Don't be lied to and manipulated like that. You know, don't fall for their bullshit. Because they don't know what they're talking about. So it was good to see the Dodgers beat up on the Padres. Just get healthy. Just get healthy. It sucks. Max Muncy's on the IL again with an oblique strain. I was very nervous to hear. I thought like, damn, we're not going to get this guy back until October. But it seems like he's going to be okay. We'll see him back in a couple weeks. Um, Kike Hernandez was out there hitting BP yesterday. Hesson Kim was out there hitting BP yesterday. I'd like to see that. Tanner Scott and Kirby Yates are going on a rehab assignment this week, so you're getting some pieces back in your bullpen. And Tommy Edmonds is expected to be ready to go at the end of this month, if not early in September. So this team is getting healthier, and um, hopefully, hopefully, this 3 game series sweep against San Diego is a start of something, and they go on a run here to in the last 5-6 weeks of the season. Now, if they play the Rockies this week, they have a 4 game series starting tonight. If you lose 3 out of 4 or you split against this Rockies team, then we're back at zero again. Then we're taking 2 steps back, so really like 5 steps back, because this is a shitty Rockies team and they're not good at all. They're 36 games out of first place. There is no excuses why the Dodgers can't. I understand Coors Field is weird. I get all that. But there's no excuse why the Dodgers can't at least take 3 out of 4, sweep this series. And continue to put the pressure on the Padres to win these games too. Because you saw it the other way. You saw it the other way. The Padres kept putting pressure on the Dodgers to win games. Now now the ball's in your court. You have the division lead. Now you have to put pressure on them to start winning some games here, because they're back home in San Diego playing the Giants. You have to think they're going to take care of business, and then they have you one last time in their building this weekend. So, um, all things positive with the Dodgers. I like the fact that they were able to get up for these 3 games. They're again, it's a long season. These guys in these clubhouses have been doing it for a long time. You know, Sometimes I understand it's hard to get up for these games in the middle of August, but I'm so glad they were able to get up for the Dodgers. And I'll leave you with 2 things here. Mookie Betts has figured it out. He's playing a lot better, my friends. In his last 11 games, he's hitting 341, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs, over a 900 OPS, and he's only struck out 3 times in his last 50 plate appearances. Hey, he's starting to figure it out. And he's figuring it out at the right time. And hopefully this will be another good October for Mookie Betts. And I wanted to share this on my Instagram, and I wanted to post it the ATD, but I have it screenshot, and I put the little heart on my photos, and I will post it if the Padres fall flat on their face again this season. This was a tweet from one of the Dodger reporters from the LA Times, Dylan Hernandez. Instead of improving their team at the trade deadline, the Dodgers decided to count on the Padres destructing again. So far, the plan is working. I'll leave you at that.
Alrighty. Well,
World Series is back on, damn it. A couple
absolutely.
nights ago, I was like, are we sure this team's even going to make the playoffs? Now the World Series is back on. Now we're back in it again. Floor is yours.
Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, so Yankees. It's been pretty good. I'll say that in their last week, they took 2 out of 3 against Minnesota, and then they swept St. Louis. They took 5 out of 6 in total. That's what you're supposed to do against these teams. Okay. So I can't complain too much on that. I don't know how to feel about this team because on paper they should be so much better, and they put themselves in such a hole, man. And it's like I'm trying to get excited and really carry on with the small wins because that's how I'm going to get through this season because it's already been way too out of. I mean, this season's gone backwards as much as it has, and it's been tough. But overall, I have to take the small wins. So they went 5-6 in their last 6, and um, next tomorrow they play Tampa Bay, and then they play a huge 4 game set against Boston, which will take us to next podcast episode. They got to take care of business next week. They really do, especially Boston, because they currently find themselves. Let me see here. They a half a game back of Boston. You win this series, and you can jump them in the division, and that's what you need to do. You can gain some speed in the wild card, and this American League wild card, man, it's a tough race because right now only a half a game separates the Yankees from both Seattle and Boston. They are they took care of business, so they got themselves some comfortability in the wild card standings. They currently hold the last wild card spot, 3.5 games up on Cleveland. Um, that's what you want. Now, the Yankees as a whole, they've been playing decent. I mean, starting pitching, man, it's got to get better. Max Fried once again shit the bed. The offense, I cannot say enough. I seem to say it every episode. Cody Bellinger, man, Cody Bellinger. It's so refreshing to have a player like Cody Bellinger. Even during his skids in Los Angeles and then getting back on track in Chicago, he has always been a ball player. He knows how to hit the ball, and that is huge. And that's exactly what the Yankees have been dying for the last few years now, and they got a taste of it with Soto and Judge in the lineup. Well, now you have Belly and Judge, and Belly's been turning back the clock. He's been looking good, and I can't say enough good things about him, man. And I mean, I'm no, I'm a huge supporter of keeping this guy in the Bronx for long term. He's a guy who I want locked up because a guy of his production and what he's done for the Yankees this year, they would be out of a playoff spot easily. And yeah, so kudos to Cody Bellinger. He's been great. He's been exactly what we've needed. Judge is back. He hit his first homer since getting off the IL. That's kind of what you want. He'll figure it out. It's Aaron Judge. Um, Bullpen, it seems like they've been trying to figure that out a little bit. It's gotten a little bit better. Um, Ben Rice looks really good. I think going forward, I think Aaron Boone's got to use him as the all-time catcher because Austin Wells just hasn't been hitting. If you want to switch him off of Goldie at first base, or if you want to put him as DH, especially once Judge gets back, then yeah, you do that. But Ben Rice has been looking good behind the plate. To sum up this whole Yankees thing, and I don't have much today, it's pretty much just keep taking care of business and stay afloat. And then once October hits, if you find yourself in a spot in October, which I hope they do, you never know what could happen. And I've been saying it for weeks. This team on paper is very good. Now, once October hits, you get a clean slate. The 162 in the beginning of the season didn't matter. So from here on out, once October hits, if the Yankees are lucky enough to find themselves in a spot, you can just forget about what happened, lock in there, and you know the guys behind there or on that team is going to get behind each other, and you never know what's going to happen then. Truly, I mean, it could be one of those things where I mean the Yankees have seen success coming out of the wild card in the last few years. They don't have to win the division. Is it nice? Yes, but they don't need to do it because they've been fighting wild card spots for a few years now. Um, and again, like this team, like it has a different feeling to it, which is why this pisses me off so bad of the spot that they're in. Because going forward, I really like what this team has, but I don't trust them right now. That's the thing. So just get into October, kind of take care of business where you need to, and then you never know what's going to happen. But for right now, kudos to Cody Bellinger. He's the reason why we're staying afloat. Judge is starting to get back into the swing of things. So yeah, just keep taking care of business, chipping away at that lead, and just get some comfortability in the wild card. I'm pretty much just writing off Toronto. I think they're going to win the division. So at this point, just keep chipping away. Help yourself in the wild card race by taking care of business against this Red Sox team that you have a 4 game series coming up. There
Hoping you
you
enjoyed it, San Diego.
go.
Because the Dodgers do what I think they're gonna do. You're never sniffing that again this season. So hopefully I'm wrong. I mean, hopefully I'm right. Hopefully I'm right. Um, yeah, I think that's gonna do it for episode 141.
Yep. Man, we're getting up there.
We are getting up there.
We really are.
It's crazy. Yeah. I don't remember the first episode because I wasn't on it. Thanks, Matt. But um, um, I remember the other 140.
Yeah.
So, no, we're getting there. 150. We should be at 150 by the playoffs.
Yeah,
I think that
definitely.
might be like world. That might be like World Series again. I think or something like that. Might be around that time.
It's crazy, man. It's. I mean, this has just become a part of our weekly schedule, but it's crazy when you actually look back at some of this. It's like, damn, we really did 150 of these, and then we started over too. So we were,
Yeah. So
you know,
technically, we have about like 200 almost.
if not more, man. From the,
Probably.
it's crazy.
Thanks a
I
lot, Bobby. I'm in a good mood today.
calling out our former coworkers. Matt
Former
and Bobby, I
dictator.
hope you're
Oh, I
doing
mean employees.
well.
Our two former dictators. You know, we used to be a. You know, around the diamond used to be a communist organization. You know, but now but Kyle and I believe in, you know, socialism and we believe in other stuff.
Capitalism.
Yeah, capital. Wow, did I say yeah? Capitalism, not socialism.
Oh
We are
man,
not a communist organization anymore.
it's crazy how these conversations go sometimes.
Yeah, so happy to happy to say the things that I want now. No, I'm just kidding. It was never like that. It was never like that.
Matt and Bobby, I hope you're doing well, man.
Yeah, they know I'm just joking around.
Absolutely.
They know I'm
That
just joking around.
that's one thing that's never changed.
No, and I've called them dictators to their face. So
Yeah.
this is not me like being a wuss or anything. Like, oh, why don't you say it to their face? I have when we took the pictures. When we took the pictures at Matt's wedding in May,
hmm
I stood next to Bobby and Matt, I believe, and I was like, "Holy shit! I'm standing next to the two dictators. That's crazy."
Turn back the
I'm not.
time
I'm
and
not. I'm not gonna say the two dictators I'm thinking about because then we all know which ones I'm thinking about.
yeah, yeah, probably. All
All
right,
right.
man.
Well,
Well,
I think it's time to get out of here.
after
Uh,
round the diamond after dark. There we go.
absolutely. Yeah.
New
We
series
should
coming.
start. We should start charging people. If you want to see what I really think about the world, I'll
Listen,
gladly do an hour.
if somebody's willing and wanting that kind of content, take it from somebody who knows. That is very entertaining. I promise you, it is well worth your money.
Right. And listen, we're not gonna turn into Alex Jones or Joe Rogan over here. You know, we're not gonna do that. But you know, I mean,
We
there's things that you can't talk about here because we're not. This is baseball. This is not. You know, we're not a political or we're not a everything podcast. You know,
no,
so
as political as we get is Rob Manfred. That's about it.
yeah, that's pretty much it. It's exactly. All right. Well, 141 in the books. We'll see you next week. Adios.